Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, beautiful soul family, and welcome to Weekly Wisdom and Insights, your home for spiritually guided transformation and empowerment. I am your host, Dearjames, and together with the unseen, Spirit, Source, and Symphony, we look at the current energies, the intuitive wisdom and insights, and we go as guided. And we have some beautiful energies. There is what's known as a blue moon coming up this Sunday on the 31st of May. However, we're going to leapfrog forward a few weeks to the middle of June 12th to be exact. And then we will come back to the blue moon, the second full moon in the month of May, next week, in next week's episode at the 1st of June. Why? Because there's an element, there are a lot of squares going on. Squares in astrology are frictional aspects. Welcome, Colleen. Welcome, Alicia. So we have a Venus-Neptune square, a Mars-Pluto square. That one's got some powerful punch to it. And then this Uranus squaring the lunar nodes. And this is what's occurring. It perfects on the 12th of June. Uranus is the higher mind. Expect the unexpected. And with all of these squares going on, Venus and Neptune, the Venus squaring Neptune, Venus representing beauty, money, tangible things like that, our image, things of this nature, squaring Neptune, where it's like rose-colored glasses. It can be illusion, delusion, it can be highest ideals. Welcome, Sue. And so that's occurring, or it just finished up. It's still in its lingering phase, but then the Mars-Pluto square. So Mars, of course, the creative force, our divine masculine and so forth, up against the Lord of the Underworld. Not for the faint of heart. This Mars-Pluto square, which we'll get into. And then, but really what we're looking at, so we're going to jump forward to the 12th, because the Uranus squaring the lunar nodes. The lunar nodes are points in the sky, in the heavens, and that depicts where we have eclipses and so forth. Well, Uranus is squaring those nodes, and normally it's known as squaring the bend, meaning it's on an arc, a bend, a curve. And so what's happening is Uranus, the higher mind, and expect the unexpected, is triggering the arc, which means the bend of the nodes. And thereby it's activating both the north node and the south node at the same time. What does this mean? What it means is we are all being given a very heavy dose of reality, meaning what do we want our reality to be? The south node represents what we know, where we've been, who we've been. The north node represents the unknown, where we're going, where our soul knows to go, wants to go. And so we are here's Uranus plucking that cord, striking that chord to say to all of us, look deeply, think deeply about who you want to be, what you want to be, where you want to be. Because, and it's literally soul versus safety, security, what's known. So we're talking about leaps of faith. We're talking about listening to our soul, going as guided, even and especially when it feels it's unknown. We can't tangibly see things. And yet there's a pull, there's a knowing that's pulling us forward. That because our soul wants, Uranus wants, the unseen, God, the divine, all that is, wants the greatest aspect, the greatest octave of ourselves, individually and collectively. And so this Uranus squaring the lunar nodes, which is, again, exact, it'll perfect on the 12th of June. But it's happening now kind of later April through up to July. There's this arc, this window. And so it's about getting it right. There are no, whatever you choose. So if you choose to stay comfortable, choose to stay small, meaning known, that's not a negative. All paths lead. They're purposeful. They will exemplify our soul's journey. However, just like with ascension, there are octaves to that. So the soul, true north, says, take the leap of faith, release the south node, release what you've known, release who you've been, where you've been, all of this, release it. It's unknown, it's scary. You may not know where this is leading. And yet, once we allow that stripping away, that unfolding to occur, well, then the deliverance is at hand. We're delivered because our soul knows what to do, where to go, how to get there. It knows. It just means that the ego, mind, personality, human is being called upon to make a choice. And in that choosing, it'll either have, I'm stretching my arms out, great expansion, or it may keep you boxed in. The choice is up to you. There's no rights, wrongs, or indifference. There's just, from the unseen, there's an aspect of saying, go for it. Reach the highest octave of your being. Don't play safe. Don't play small. Play in alignment with the North Node, that true North Star. It knows all. So let's just jump in here. Let's go to our main theme really quickly. Because what does this all have to do with? Blessings. The direction of the wind of destiny. So this Uranus squaring the lunar nodes, activating them both, giving us this major opportunity and this major choice. It's about blessings. And it's about the direction of the wind of destiny. We often talk about the fact that the arc of destiny moves forward. The wind of destiny is about blessings. The unseen wants for us, even and especially when we may not want for ourselves, where we may not feel like we deserve it, where we may have gone astray. That's okay. Everything's purposeful. Just come back up, come back online, come back to center. Choose, have the chutzpah, have the love of self to say, I'm going to choose my highest octave. I'm going to surrender the fear, the anxiety, the worry, the guilt, all of these things. I'm going to surrender them to step into my now, because this is our now. It's happening now, and it's about blessings, the direction of the wind of destiny. Let's take a look at the astrological chart. So this is the chart for the Uranus squaring the lunar nodes on the 12th of June. It's going to be at 2 degrees, 42 arc minutes. Very powerful. 2 is the receptive. 42 is that weighing of the soul in ancient Egypt with Mot. It's a very powerful representing the divine, God, the divine, this number 42. So 2 minutes, or I'm sorry, 2 degrees, 42 arc minutes. So, and what we're going to then have is when I looked at the chart, of course, it said to me, leave no stone or rock unturned. And there was a very big aspect here about the difference between rock and stone. So while rock and stone are often used interchangeably in geology, a rock is a natural solid mass of minerals, while a stone is a specific piece of that rock that has been shaped, moved, or utilized by humans for building, decoration, or tools. The unseen is speaking to us and saying, leave no stone - rock unturned. This is about deep introspection, really looking at ourselves from a place and not being afraid to look at our shadow, to not be afraid to see what's underneath, to see what's beyond the surface, to surrender it, to transmute it, to let go of it, to heal, because there's a lot of healing going on in all of this energy, of all of this work. With Uranus, expect the unexpected, things coming out of left field, out of the blue, and that we're leaving no stone, rock unturned. In geology, rock is the official scientific term. Stone is not a scientific term, but rather a colloquial or industrial term. A rock can refer to massive formations like mountains or large boulders. A stone typically refers to smaller, more manageable, and smoother fragments. So think of your soul as the rock, and your ego, mind, personality, human, the stone. What's been more manageable or smaller or, smoother fragments, things that have been honed and shaped. The unseen is saying, leave no stone, human, or rock, soul, unturned. Stone usually implies a practical or aesthetic purpose. Humans carve rocks into stones for construction, stone walls, kitchen countertops, masonry, or use them decoratively. Simply put, all stones are rocks, but not all rocks are stones. A rock is the raw, natural, geological formation. That is our soul. This raw, natural formation, energy, essence, while a stone is refined or portable pieces of that. So, very powerful aspect here about leave no stone - rock unturned. There are deep blessings. The direction of the wind of destiny. The wind of destiny blows from the north. It's pulling us forward to our true North Star. That's the moral of this story. So as we're looking at it, I'm just bringing it back up again. Blessings, the direction of the wind of destiny, and all of these squares. So now let's jump to, I want to go first to astrologer Pam Youngins and her North Point journal. And we're going to backtrack just slightly, and then we're going to leap forward back heavily into the Uranus square the nodes. So Pam Youngin at North Point Journal is talking about unstable times. The ground beneath our feet may be feeling very unstable now. Mars, the planet of personal will and desire, is in challenging aspect to Pluto, the transpersonal planet of divine will and transformation. So we've got individual will up against divine will. We've got the North Node versus the South Node, where Uranus is squaring the nodal axis, the lunar nodes, activating both of them at the same time. So calling and saying, ugh, this year. Yes, because it's all about stripping us down, not to harm us or hurt us, but to liberate us, to literally free us. And you'll see that here in a second. It's literally this aspect of being released. But to do that, we have to let go of all of these old identities and masks and labels and scripts and stories and truths, all these things where we've been playing small, things that we know, South Node, to receive what's unknown, which is a higher octave of ourselves, of the literal energy. Remember, all these major planets changing signs within like a 16-month window. Things, astrological aspects that haven't occurred in 6,000 years, 10,000 years. Things that have not happened, that we have no recorded history for, that are occurring this year, right now. End of last year, 2025, majorly this year. So that by the time we reach 2027, it's a whole new world. The deconstruction of the old, the construction of the new. It's all happening simultaneously. So yes, Colleen, ugh, this year, it's not for the faint of heart. However, when we change our perspective and our perceptions of what's occurring, it changes. It gets lighter, it gets more exciting and beneficial. So we have Mars, the planet of personal will and desire, challenging, and the aspect of Pluto, this transpersonal planet of divine will and transformation. And this is Pam Youngins at North Point Journal. The Mars-Pluto square perfects on Monday, May 25th, but its impact will be felt for days before and after that date. Pluto always brings passion to whatever it touches, and Mars ignites a fire that is not easily quenched. Monday's energy, it was intense. And so it's not easily quenched. This tension-filled aspect between two implacable planets can manifest as irritability and ego-driven actions for some, and dramatic power struggles and battles of will for others. Remember, that battle of will can be internal. South Node, ego, mind, personality, human, where you've been, what you know. North Node, soul source connection, unknown, where you're going, where your soul wants to go. Pluto in progressive airy Aquarius is determined to reveal and tear down social structures that do not ultimately serve the people. We are going from Piscean to Aquarian, patriarchal to matriarchal, individual I to we. And so it's a tearing down of what no longer serves, individually, collectively. On the other hand, Mars in traditional earthy Taurus is ready to fight to preserve the status quo. We're seeing how the divine masculine, the patriarchal, Piscean era does not want to cede or surrender its control, its position, its power. This Mars in Taurus, the status quo, it's trying to preserve it. However, as above, so below. The direction of the wind of destiny, the arc of destiny, all blowing forward, true north. And so, since Aquarius and Taurus are both fixed signs, one of the primary manifestations of this Mars-Pluto square is stubborn resistance to seeing a situation from another's point of view. So if we're stubborn and we're staying stuck, we don't want things to change, we're going to have that experience. You will have that experience. It will be frustrating. It'll come with irritation, anger, resentment, fear. You name a shadow element, it's going to come with it. Because it's up against divine will, divine order, which is the winds of destiny, the direction of the wind of destiny, true north, where everything is going, whether you want it to or not. There's a higher force and power, the master weaver, the host, that is guiding and directing the show. So it's about how quickly we get on board with where the energies, where the divine is orchestrating and taking us. It's number one from the unseen. And they said, a choice made, a destiny followed. Rejoice, no matter the decision made. So in essence, rejoice in the choice that you make, because, again, everything is purposeful. And choosing to rejoice is a powerful decision. By deciding to find peace and celebrate life regardless of the outcome, you free yourself from the anxiety of the unknown and reclaim your inner strength. It removes regret. It turns every twist and turn into a valuable part of your journey. It reduces stress, rejoicing. You let go of the pressure to control every detail, and it provides perspective. It shifts your focus from the obstacle to the opportunity. Whatever comes next, there is always something to appreciate. So again, and this is not a negative, but it's the way the unseen has given it to me. So whether you choose South Node, whether you choose to play it small and stay where you are, rejoice. Allow that to release regret, reduce stress, provide perspective, and appreciate the choices that you're making, because it's a choice made, a destiny followed. Rejoice no matter the decision made. Equally, when you choose the North Node and you choose a higher octave in this expansion of yourself, that your soul is leading you to the next greatest adventure and octave and iteration of yourself in this incarnation, rejoice. It will both come with fears, both come with uncertainties and unknowns. However, it's how we choose to navigate them. It's our choice. And so a choice made, a destiny followed. Rejoice no matter the decision made. Now let's quickly go. I want to go to Chani Nicholas. She's the astrologer. This is her The Weekly, and it's issue number 117. Big week for boundaries and breaking free. The good news, this week's struggle bus drops us off somewhere truly liberating. A full moon in Sagittarius. This lunation is wild, and we're going to cover the second, it's known as a blue moon. It's the second full moon in the month of May. We're going to cover it next week. This lunation is wild, reckless, and raring to go. It's also opposing Uranus, the planet of surprises, and supported by Saturn, discipline, Neptune, dreams, and Pluto, transformation. Hopefully what you're getting, there's a lot of Uranian energy in the mix here that is aspecting and influencing. So there's all kinds of twists and turns and unknowns, things coming out of left field. Those are not bad things. They're good because they're all always purposeful, moving us forward, advancing us. So Chani Nicholas, talk about helpful. If you felt caged in or like you've been holding all your horses, by Sunday, a door finally swings open. We ride at dawn. So and a lot of astrologers have been talking about this liminal space. Like we're not in the old world, we're not in the new world. We're somewhere in between, and yet we're aware that what was is collapsing, it's crumbling, it's ceasing, and there's a new element. We're being pulled and called forward, and there's something new and exciting, and yet we're not in either one yet. We're in that transformation, that chrysalis, that moment right before everything swings open, flies open. Leave no stone-rock unturned. Look at everything. Look at yourselves. It's because we, the collective, is 8 billion individual fractals. So it begins with us. It begins inside. We talk about this a lot. Be willing to look. Be willing to see what you find. And not to, fear it or shun it or try to kill it, but simply to see all of it. What leads me, both light and shadow, what leads me to the choices and the decisions I make? And will I surrender the things that I have no control over and the things that I do have control over to allow my soul source connection, my true north, my North Node octave, to guide and lead me? Now let's look at Number 2 from the unseen. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Facing, quote, the unknown, your path is illuminated, comes to light. So we're talking about this liminal space. We're in between places. There's unknowns and uncertainties, and yet we can see what's crumbling and what's calling us forward. And so we're facing the unknown. Your path is illuminated, comes to light. It's saying, the unseen is saying, twinkle, twinkle, little star, and that our path, facing the unknown, your path is illuminated, comes to light. It's saying it will become known to you. It will illuminate itself. We might be in between, but at any given moment, and could be as much as this second blue moon coming up on the 31st of May, doors swing open. Paths that were maybe shrouded, not seen, because full moons illuminate, can go, here's the path, here's the knowing. It goes boom, it's like a bing. The path gets illuminated. The unknown becomes clear. Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star is a classic lullaby about a child's wonder at the night sky and curiosity about the universe. The lyrics celebrate the star's beauty and its practical purpose in guiding travelers through the dark when they are otherwise would not know which way to go. The original poem, titled The Star, was written by English sisters Jane and Anne Taylor in 1806 as a way to encourage imagination and a connection to nature, to the divine, to the unseen. Humanity, for all of its known recorded history, has navigated by the stars. And so the lyrics celebrate the star's beauty and its practical purpose in guiding travelers through the dark when they otherwise would not know which way to go. We are in that space right now, this unknown, this uncertainty of where am I going? What am I to do? Against the backdrop of everything that we know, South Node, everything that we know. We know where we've been. We know who we've been. We know the experiences we've had. We know the people in our lives, the people that have left our life. We know all of this. It's South Node. What's unknown, uncertain, if you will, is, and yet I know to release these things. I know to let go. I know to follow a new path, a new octave of myself. And yet it's not clear on what it is or who it is or where it is or what it is. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Facing the unknown, your path is illuminated, comes to light. We're right at that point. Number 3 from the unseen is tension builds towards, quote, the ultimate release. Can you say freedom, liberty, exaltation? Our key word is exaltation. And exaltation means the act of raising someone or something to a higher rank, power, or status, or the state of being elevated. It also refers to a strong feeling of intense happiness, elation, or being carried away by overwhelming joy. A state of overwhelming joy, euphoria, or spiritual ecstasy. The act of glorifying, praising highly, or raising someone to a divine level. The specific position in a planet's orbit where it is believed to exert its maximum influence or power. So our key word is exaltation. Number 3 from the unseen, tension builds. Look at all these squares. Venus square Neptune, Mars square Pluto, Venus squaring the nodes. Squares are frictional aspects, tension, backed up energy that must be confronted, dealt with, looked at, leave no stone, rock unturned in order to be released. So tension builds towards, quote, the ultimate release. Can you say freedom, liberty, exaltation? We're reaching this crescendo. It's July. By the time we get to July, there's exaltation. There's this massive release because we will have chosen. or the unseen is saying, or it will have been chosen for you, meaning because when we take inaction, it is a choice. Action is a choice. So it gets chosen. There's a choice point here, a tipping point, reached and exceeded. This was from last week. We're right there. And Uranus is plucking the cord, the nodal axis, activating to say, and we're covering this now to be future proof, foresight. It's occurring now. It's going to be at its peak moment on the 12th of June. So, of course, what we do in every moment of every day matters. Now let's move to Astrology by Lauren. And she is speaking about Uranus at the bending of the nodes. And she begins with a quote by Alan Watts. When you have reached the opposite shore, you do not carry the raft on your back. You leave it behind. We are moving forward. This is Six of Swords in the tarot, which we'll come to in just a second. And so this is about moving from choppy waters to calm waters, from one place of where we've been, south node, to the shore, the other shore, the north node. And the moral of that quote is, once we've reached that place, we don't drag all of the old stuff, the old us, the old raft or vessel. We leave it on the shore, allow the waters to carry it away. Go forth on this new shore, pure, elevated, released from the past. So, Astrology by Lauren. On June 12th, Uranus will perfect a square with the true nodes of the moon. When planets are square the nodes, we say that they are at the bending of the nodes. There is a north node bending and a south node bending. Uranus in Gemini is now at the north node bending. It is closely squaring these nodes for all of May until July. However, its influence is far longer than that. The nodes of the moon and where they are have to do with our collective evolutionary growth. Uranus can be illuminating, sudden in its effects, and often surprising, perhaps even shocking. It upends the status quo, and it seems to be asking us both collectively and personally, what are you still holding on to but no longer need, and may in fact be holding you back? So what do you no longer need? What are you doing that may be holding you back from liberating and releasing yourself? That can be an internal conversation. That can be a mindset. That can be people, places, things. That can be fear of the unknown or the comfort, the air quotes, security of what's known. But that can also create stagnation. And so we're meant to evolve, to grow, to quantum leap. In the parable of the raft, when confronted with a raging river, if there is no other way to get to the other side, it makes sense to build a raft of whatever elements, bits, pieces, and resources are at your disposal. Tied together, they create a raft which allows you to reach the safety of the farther shore. There is safety in reaching for the north node, in releasing the south node, what's known. But then, what do you do with the raft once you have arrived? Do you continue to carry it with you on your back even though it is difficult to do so? Or do you leave it at the shore? This is that beautiful image in the quote. It is that we use the safety of the vessel, of the craft, to get to the other side. That's our soul source connection. We're utilizing that. And it's our ego, mind, personality, human that gets in the vessel. When we're delivered, the human knows, leave it behind. Let go so that the soul source connection, the purity of our essence, can continue to lead us forward unburdened. Because otherwise, it's that beautiful quote, everywhere you go, there you are. Well, okay, but we don't need or want to drag around the old with us. It's not necessary. It's unnecessary. It's, have we learned the lesson? If you've learned the lesson, let go of it. And it's about the Six of Swords. So you can see there's water, vessels, boats, the swords representing the issues that we're confronting. Leave no stone or rock unturned. And yet you see on the right side of the image, choppy waters. On the left side, where you're being rowed to, calm waters. The Six of Swords is a tarot card representing transition, moving on, and journeying away from turbulent or painful situations toward calmer, safer shores. It is a card of mental healing, leaving baggage behind, and the quiet relief that comes with accepting a necessary change. If upright, it's about peaceful transition, safe passage, leaving the past behind. You are navigating away from a stressful, chaotic, or emotionally drained period. While it may feel bittersweet or somber to leave things behind, you are headed toward a safe harbor. It often signifies physical travel, a career change, or a significant mental shift. It can be about moving on from a highly toxic work environment or making a strategic transition to a more stable professional path. And it's about healing from a painful breakup, moving away from arguments, or entering a phase of mutual emotional calm. So we can see here where Astrology by Lauren is speaking about how we're moving from one shore to the other. This is the Six of Swords in the tarot. Astrology by Lauren continues, when major planets such as Uranus come to the bendings of the nodal eclipse points, it feels like we are between 2 points in our lives, 2 worlds, illuminating and sometimes surprising. The Sun and Mercury joining Uranus here can make this more personal, because those are, Sun represents our life force, Mercury, how we think and communicate. They're going to be together with Uranus, so that it can make this more personal. It's not just about the collective, it's about the individual, the personal. We share information with one another. We disclose truths and learn things from others that we had not previously known. It shifts our perceptions and can serve as turning points in our lives. And as a result of what we see, know, and learn, our lives will not be quite the same again, because Uranus is square the nodal axis. It's illuminating. Leave no stone unturned, no rock unturned. It's about things coming to light. The sun, the life force, shining light. Mercury, how we think, communicate. All of this is happening for us. As Uranus wends its way through our lives, moving things about, there is another important square occurring this week, and that is the square between Mars, which recently entered the sign of Taurus, and Pluto in the early degrees of Aquarius. These are both squares of stress and evolutionary change. So to Colleen's point of, ugh, this year, yes, because see, these squares, they're about stress and evolutionary change. This isn't garden variety astrology and, the master weaving of as above, so below. This is evolutionary growth, moving us individually and collectively forward. Uranus and Pluto's jobs are to show us what we have outgrown, what is no longer supporting us, and could even be holding us back. Mars reacts to the forceful nature of Pluto by wanting to protect all that he holds near and dear to his heart. Some will identify with the Mars angle, South Node, while others will side with Pluto, North Node. Most of us will feel conflicted between the two because there's unknown. The unknown creates uncertainty, and yet there's a knowing. When you really quiet your mind, your ego, mind, personality, human, when you quiet your mind, your soul is it's a knowing. You're going to know, I'm to release this. I'm to move this way. I'm to let go. I'm to not do this or that. So that I allow the unseen, the host, the master weaver, God, the all that is, my soul source connection, my soul, to deliver me, up-level me to my North Node octave location. It requires choice. It requires dedication, commitment, surrender, rejoicing, so that I celebrate it and allow it to come. It will require that you face your fears. There's no getting around that. It's walking through the fire. Once you get to the other side, you'll have walked through the fire. You'll have been delivered. Astrology by Lauren. The North Node in Jupiter's sign of Pisces is trine, that's a harmonious aspect in astrology, is trine by sign to Jupiter in Cancer. There is something spiritually fulfilling and emotionally drenching as these water signs meld, grow, and expand our awareness. The living waters is our consciousness, the unseen, our soul, the all that is. So they are literally melding and growing and shaping and expanding our awareness, our beingness to this higher octave. An awareness that there is something much, much greater than just ourselves. So what this is doing is it's triggering that there's something far greater than just ourselves. It's use me, God, for a purpose greater than myself. That's we the people, Aquarian matriarchal. When we do that, a tide lifts all boats. When that happens, we're now in flow, in the receiving, in this expanded state of awareness, of consciousness, and it's going to benefit the all, and thereby individually, I receive, because we're the custodian of it. So it's an awareness that there is something much, much greater than ourselves. Pisces connects us to the collective, and so our own destiny becomes a piece in the destiny of the whole. And so through the gates of the current eclipses, we are all being asked, because the nodal, the eclipses right now have been in Pisces Virgo. This is where the nodes are, which is where Uranus is plucking those. So you'll want to look on your natal astrology chart, on your birth chart, and look for three things. Where is the North Node? What sign? Where is the South Node? What sign, what house, what sign, and where is Uranus in your natal charts? We know that right now, the transiting Uranus is in Gemini. Transiting the North Node is in Pisces, the South Node is in Virgo. Look to see where those houses are, and also where your natal placements are of those. That will tell you, and then research and see about these things, where they are. They're going to speak to, what that's going to show you is, because each house and the sign influencing that house speaks to certain aspects of astrology. And so you'll be able to see, what is that going to trigger or bring up? That will be where it's most prevalent for you individually. Collectively as a whole, it's happening to up-level us. So, Pisces connects us to the collective, and so our destiny becomes a piece in the destiny of the whole. And so through the gates of the current eclipses, we are all being asked to transcend our usual boundaries and limitations, to merge with the great beyond. With this also comes an awareness that we are all swimming in this great ocean that we call life, and we are not alone. There are others here with us, and together we are being led to fulfill a destiny that is much, much bigger than us. And the part that each of us plays will be found in that still small voice of spirit, conscience, and unity implied by the North Node in transcendent Pisces. It's the arc of destiny. It is the direction of the wind of destiny. It's about blessings. Blessings are on offer. We're either in the flow of those blessings or we're in opposition to them. That's choice. Number 4 from the unseen, they said, cry me a river. Healing never came so easily. And then the word catharsis. So, cry me a river. The phrase cry me a river traditionally originated as a pop culture idiom from Arthur Hamilton's 1953 torch song, used to sarcastically dismiss excessive complaining. Spiritually, however, it represents profound emotional catharsis, the release of repressed grief, and the sacred cleansing of the soul through the element of water. Consciousness, water, living waters, all of this moving through us, allowing it. So, cry me a river. Healing never came so easily. It's about spiritual cleansing and renewal. In esoteric traditions, tears are often viewed as the holy water of the body. They carry emotional burdens and flush out stagnant negative energies. Crying, quote, a river is a natural, healthy form of spiritual detox, signifying that you are finally allowing heavy, built-up pain to flow out rather than stagnating inside your psyche, your body. It's about radical surrender. Water represents the path of least resistance. When you, quote, cry a river, it symbolizes surrendering to the divine flow of the universe. Instead of fighting your circumstances, the act of weeping accepts reality, signaling a necessary step toward healing and spiritual transformation. It's about empathy and compassion. Tears are the purest expression of the heart. Weeping a river points to an awakening of deep empathy, not only for your own struggles, such as the biblical weeping of lamentation, but for the suffering of humanity as a whole. It is a sign that your heart is softened and open. It's that we're connected, we're listening, we recognize our oneness, our interconnectedness. And it's about karmic release. In some energy work philosophies, authentic tears act as a biochemical waveform that discharge energetic distortions and allow you to move forward to higher, lighter states of consciousness. We've been talking a lot about up-leveling, going back to where we began, an octave higher, and this next higher octave of ourselves. It is the shedding of old timelines so that new spiritual beginnings can take root. This is about getting to the other shore, moving through the liminal space, not quite there and not quite over here, and then leaving that vessel, the past, at the shoreline for the waves, the water, for it to reintegrate into the one consciousness, so that we're not dragging burdens and old, masks and identities and labels and scripts and stories with us. If you are experiencing a season where you feel called to cry a river, lean into it as a sacred practice. However, just as a river eventually finds its way to the ocean and brings clarity, you too should use it as a transient release. Do not let yourself drown or permanently dwell in the sorrow. Do not get stuck in the shedding of the old or the mourning of the letting go or something of that nature. Allow it to be a transient release. So we have leave no stone, rock unturned, exaltation. Our mantra is I am free. And this goes with, Colleen just said, I better be coming out of the dark. You coming out of the dark is a choice. It's a choice for all of us. Our mantra, I am free. So where Colleen is saying, I better be coming out of the dark, say to yourself over and over and over again, and print this image. See it as yourself, this beautiful, pure representation. Look at the waters, the angelic nature and form. I am free. And look at the beautiful green, verdant abundance all around. The sunlight spilling forth, illuminating the waters. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Facing the unknown, your path is illuminated. It comes to light. It becomes clear. Attention builds towards the ultimate release. Can you say freedom, liberty, exaltation? That's deliverance from the dark. Cry me a river, healing never came so easily. And then we have catharsis. To come back to that. Because catharsis is the process of releasing pent-up, repressed, or strong emotions like anger, grief, or fear, resulting in emotional relief, renewal, or psychological restoration. It's from the ancient Greek word catharsis, meaning cleansing or purging. Originally used in philosophy by Aristotle to describe how tragedy and drama arouse negative emotions in an audience, which are then safely expelled, leaving viewers feeling happier and renewed. It's facing the goo, the shadow, the dark, and yet safely expelling them, leaving us happier and renewed. Later adapted into psychoanalysis by Sigmund Freud to describe the release of tension that happens when repressed memories or anxieties are brought into consciousness. It's transmutation. It's the phoenix. It's the figurative death by fire renewal, being reborn. So, catharsis. Lastly, I want to move to this is astrobutterfly.com, speaking about Uranus square the lunar nodes, entering the territory. The territory. Keep this in mind. So, as soon as Uranus entered Gemini in April of 2026, it began squaring the lunar nodes, now in early degrees of Virgo and Pisces, while the exact aspect at 2 degrees Gemini, Virgo, Pisces happens on June 12th, 2026. The aspect is already building. This tension builds. It's a square. Transits to the nodal axis are known for carrying a faded, quote, "This is extraordinary," end quote. "This is unlike anything I've experienced before," quality. The nodal square. Colleen is saying, can nothing be easy? It's our perception. And I agree with you. I am walking the walk, talking the talk, as you all are. We are all experiencing this. We are all facing this extraordinary opportunity for evolution, transcendence, ascension, advance. And it requires our conscious consideration, choice, commitment to the extraordinary octave, the North Node, to this extraordinary octave of being that we have yet to experience. Transits to the nodal axis are known for carrying a faded, "This is extraordinary, this is unlike anything I've ever experienced before," quality. It's only uncertainty, fear of the unknown, fear of losing people, places, and things, fear of advancing, fear of not having what we know, that will prevent you from up-leveling, from reaching up and grabbing those gold rings and saying, hell yes, that's mine. It's already present, it's already there. However, again, we have to have the chutzpah, the determination, the will to align with that octave of being, to allow the old to fall away and the new to reveal and present itself. And once we've gotten to that other shore, leave the old behind. Allow it to reintegrate itself, to transmute itself in the living waters, represented by the ocean. Zero from the unseen. We've never had zero before from the unseen. And they were very clear about 1, 2, 3, 4, these new beginnings, these pragmatic steps. And then they gave me the number 0. 0 represents the all that is. And the unseen said, everything will, underlined, will work out, ... Give it time, divine time. And we're going to come to the Venus Sabian symbol for the Uranus squaring the nodes on the 12th of June. I just want to finish up with Astro Butterfly. So the nodal square. Out of all the aspects a planet can make to the nodes, the square is perhaps the most interesting, the most meaningful. The square, however, is the only aspect that activates both nodes with the exact same intensity, lighting up both ends of the axis at the same time. This is no longer simply, quote, focus on what's ahead of you, the usual north node advice, nor, quote, let go of the past, the usual south node advice. We are dealing with a complete recalibration, one that requires genuine integration. It's about choice. We've got to be in it to win it. Nothing less will do. We have to be in it to win it because it is about genuine integration. The nodal square pushes us to find a way that integrates both what we know and what we are being called toward. And the planet that was previously unresolved becomes the bridge between the two. That's Uranus. In terms of fate, this feels less like this is the direction you must go, and more like this is the thing you can no longer avoid. See, it's about knowing. We know what to do or not to do. We know what to release, what to move towards. We may not see in this moment, liminal in between two worlds. However, imminently coming up, the path gets illuminated. Facing the unknown, your path is illuminated, comes to light. It becomes clear. So this is all about things falling into place. It's about what you can no longer avoid. And thus, when you stop avoiding it, everything else falls into place. Uranus and Gemini. What about Uranus? Uranus speaks of encounters, opportunities, and changes that are not expected, that are not planned, and that do not arise from our existing agenda. So, when Uranus squares the lunar nodes, a powerful sense of unexpected but fated change is written on the wall. When Uranus is the planet at the apex of this nodal configuration, what gets recalibrated is precisely our relationship with the unexpected. This is exercising our muscle, our soul muscle, our human, our mind, to get comfortable with change, with the unexpected, with the unknown, honing our soul source connection, our listening tool. We have gone millennia barely recognizing or listening to our souls, to our soul source connection, to the divine, the unseen. This is changing all of that in an unexpected way. And it's bringing about this recalibration to our relationships with it so that we hear it. It's fine-tuning the dial on the old radio. No more static, no more, scratchy. It's fine-tuning the dial. It's recalibrating. And we get that crystal clear, perfect, picture-perfect you signal. Comes in loud and clear. We know exactly where to go, what to do. That requires us to surrender, to align, to fine-tune the channel, the station, to go as guided. This is Astro Butterfly. The square is demanding that we stop pre-filtering reality and genuinely open to what is arriving from outside, from the unknown, the unseen. Uranus is in Gemini. Gemini, archetypally, is the territory we enter once we have established a safe foundation in Taurus. The territory is about stepping outside our comfort zone and going to a different place than the one we already know. It's about leaving the South Node. It doesn't mean throw the baby out with the bathwater. It just means take the best of the best with us as we move forward into this uncharted, unknown territory, or the territory, as astrobutterfly.com is talking about. So the territory is about stepping outside our comfort zone and going to a different place than the one we already know. In the hero's journey framework, territory is defined by Gemini, or the sextile aspect. It's a harmonious aspect in astrology. This is the part in the journey when something real happens for the first time. The hero receives a message. A helping companion appears. All these Gemini experiences are a way of life saying, listen to me. What I'm about to tell you is not something you already know. It is something you don't know. Something that will pull you out of your comfort zone and alter the direction of your life. The beauty of this is that the soul already knows what it is. What we're being asked to do is trust the soul, your soul source connection, the unseen, the all that is, the host, the master weaver. Trust that it knows exactly what's occurring, what's on tap, what's going to happen. Because number 0, from the unseen, everything will work out. Give it time, divine time. Colleen says, the word I keep getting is discipline. Yes, discipline is required. It's critical because it means commitment. It's demonstrating commitment. So discipline is about commitment. Commitment to the higher octave, commitment to the path, commitment to the deliverance, the unknown, the direction of the wind of destiny, commitment to these blessings. astrobutterfly.com. The success of this stage depends on how willing we are to truly listen, to register the message. Gemini requires real curiosity, not the kind that seeks confirmation of what we already believe, but the kind that genuinely wants to take in something that was not there before. In real life, most of us struggle with this because we are not used to truly opening ourselves. We simply have no reference for it. We might think we do, but we don't. Uranus square the lunar nodes, entering the territory. The territory is a metaphor for the world outside of ourselves, where all kinds of things happen. It's foreign, it's mysterious, and it's where life begins to speak back. Most of the time, we think we are open or adventurous because we travel, we enroll in a class, or we try something new, and we might think we are entering the territory. However, all these things are self-directed because they arise from our own plans and priorities, what's known to us. And being self-directed does not belong to the territory. The essence of the territory is that it is not self-directed. It is completely unknown. It comes from the unseen. Your soul knows, but your human doesn't. So the territory is what's unknown to us. It's the unseen, the all that is. And it goes, boop. It's that beautiful quote, life happens while you're planning. You may think you're going this way, or I'm being so wonderful and liberated and adventurous. And the unseen, coming out at Uranus, squaring the nodes. Oh no, bing, you're being called to this. You must go that way. This is your destiny, your fate. This is where the direction of the wind of destiny is guiding you. This is where your blessings are. Will you heed the call? Will you listen? Will you go as guided? Will you show up? Will you surrender? astrobutterfly.com. Uranus square the nodes. No map, no agenda, just a compass. True north. To truly enter the territory, we need to become genuinely open, to go with no agenda, to go as guided. It is only when we turn off the inner stereo that we can hear a different signal. It is only when we take off our tinted glasses, Venus squaring Neptune. So it is only when we take off our tinted glasses that we can see things we have never seen before. Some of the most important developments in our lives, our vocation, our relationships, our community, our contribution, our purpose, are not manufactured by the ego. They don't happen on our own timing. Everything will work out. Give it time, divine time. They don't happen on our timing. They happen on destiny's timing, divine will, and emerge through interaction with something beyond us. Fundamentally, Uranus square the lunar nodes is an invitation to truly listen and direct our attention to what is calling us. When the nodes are activated, the message will come. Everything will work out. Give it time, divine time. So when the nodes are activated, the message will come. Will you recognize it or walk on by? It's all a choice here. It's all a choice. And so, blessings, the direction of the winds of destiny are at play. Our mantra is, I am free. Our key word is exaltation. And we have the Six of Swords moving us away from choppy waters. I so look forward to seeing where this all goes. We do have the second full moon, the blue moon, on Sunday, May 31st. It's in Sagittarius. We will cover that next week, and we will see what else the unseen, the all that is, has for us. In the meantime, work with this Uranus square the lunar nodes energy. Leave no stone -rock unturned, and be willing to quantum leap, to jump to this next highest octave of your beingness. We'll see you next week.